It's news time. Information is power. Be current. The news headline. OSINBAJO to agitators. Let's resolve our differences through dialogue. The Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi OSINBAJO, son, has tasked Nigerians with diverse grievances to leverage the benefit of dialogue and negotiation to resolve differences and forge a pedestal of national unity, stressing the significance of a sustained dialogue in a multicultural society as Nigeria. The Vice President added that building a nationhood requires leaders across every sphere of influence to sacrifice personal interest and achieve a consensus that guarantees a win-win for all. He maintained that a sustained and productive nation would give access to diverse multi-ethnic strengths and provide opportunities to gain more from being together than otherwise. Professor OSINBAJO gave the charge in Abuja on Thursday during the 10th anniversary of Yufuk Dialogue Foundation, an organization devoted to the promotion of dialogue and a culture of peace coexistence. He said that it is true that in the last 2 decades we face severe threats to our coexistence. Violent extremism in the Northeast has resulted in the destruction and unfortunate loss of lives of many. Banditry and kidnappings has traumatized families. Just also, we have seen secessionist agitations, especially in part of south and east of Nigeria in particular. This affected and slowed down economic activities in those parts of the region, while warning against promoting underlying issues that give rise to insecurity. He said even though there are no simple solutions to the challenges, he however maintained that the federal government will effectively bring its full power to bear in tackling insecurity and its threats to their collective existence. Our government, led by Mr. President, is frontally confronting the security challenges and will relentlessly continue to do so, fully aware of their socio-economic and psychological impact on Nigerians everywhere, and we Nigerians and we as Nigeria will surely prevail.
The Army and Mrs. C. Odukwe for the DSS argued that the court lacked jurisdiction to hear the matter. Tori specifically faulted KANU for demanding 5 billion naira compensation from the Chief of Army Staff instead of the Army Council, but the court held that it has jurisdiction to hear the matter. While delivering judgment yesterday in the court, the judge condemned the invasion of KANU's family house by the military and described this as notorious and brazen. Justice Aya, however, struck out KANU's prayer to declare its repatriation from Kenya and the continued detention by DSS as illegal. The judge instead suggested to the authorities to explore political alternative in resolving the issues of his extradition, detention, and trial. Reacting to the judgment, the Nigerian Army says it will study the decision to know the next line of action, and counsel to the Army, Tori, reportedly said that the military will respond appropriately to the court judgment that indicted it for violating the fundamental human rights of KANU after studying the judgment. At the same time, the IPOB leader in Abuja yesterday asked the Federal High Court Abuja to discharge and acquit him of the 15-count criminal charges which the federal government preferred against him. KANU had rejected the charges during his arraignment in court yesterday, arguing that they were defective and have no force of law. Besides the alleged effectiveness of the charges, he said that the offences brought against him were committed in the United Kingdom outside the shores of Nigeria and pleaded not guilty to the charges. Shortly after taking his plea, counsel to the federal government, Shuaib Magaji Labaran, told the trial judge, Binta Iyanko, that he was ready to try the defendant. He informed the court that 2 of his witnesses were present to testify in the case and that some exhibits were brought to court to establish terrorism charges against KANU. Labaran cited Section 396 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, ACJA 2015, which stipulated that trial should begin after arraignment, and while objection on any issue could be taken at any time along with the substantive matters. But KANU's lead counsel, Mike Ozekume-san, objected to the commencement of the trial, adding that his client had filed 2 motions on notice on the validity of charges and a bail application. Ozekume said that the 2 motions were fundamental because one of them challenged the competence of the charges and should first be resolved, adding that KANU desired to be discharged and acquitted without standing trial because the charges were defective. He argued that the second motion, which sought fresh bail for KANU, was filed on Tuesday, January 18, 2022, served on the prosecution on Wednesday, January 19, and therefore not ripe for hearing. In a ruling, Justice Nyako agreed with Ozekome to first determine the motion challenging the validity of charges and fixed February 16, 2022 for the parties to return to court and adopt their processes for and against the motion at 12 noon. However, KANU was returned to the Department of State Services DSS detention facility until his request for bail is resolved. He was provided with orthopedic mattress, pillows, and blankets, among others, in compliance with the court order. Meanwhile, KANU Special Counsel Aloy Ejimako, in a reaction to the judgment of Abia High Court, said that the president should obey the court's decision on exploring political solution and prove that he indeed regards the judiciary, as said in an interview on January 5, 2022. He said, "I am pleased with the judgment, especially as it diminished the vested notion that NNAMDI KANU jumped bail in 2017. The directive by the judge to the federal government to pursue paths of political solution with KANU is also in good order. Going forward, I see the judgment having significant impact on Abuja case. I have no doubt that the federal government will implement the judgment. My confidence comes with the recent pronouncement from the president that he will respect whatever the judiciary decides in the matter of NNAMDI KANU, and now that the court had actually, advised, after awarding 1 billion naira against the Nigerian army and for NNAMDI KANU, for illegal, unlawful, and unconstitutional infringement of his fundamental rights, to life, dignity, and of his person, and also his personal liberty and fair hearing as guaranteed under the Nigerian Constitution and African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Only the lawyer of NNAMDI KANU had actually filed again that the court in Abia State should actually should actually condemn, the expulsion of NNAMDI KANU from Kenya back to Nigeria by the Nigerian government, and his consequent, detention and prosecution in a suit, marked FHC ABJCR 383/2015, saying that the court should actually, agree that it was illegal, unlawful, and constitutional infringement of his fundamental rights to be expatriated from Kenya back to Nigeria. But then the court actually, apart from awarding 1 billion naira, which was supposed to be 5 billion naira as filed by the council to NNAMDI KANU, the judge, which is Justice Aya, however, struck out the prayers, to declare that the repatriation from Kenya the way they treated NNAMDI KANU outside the country was illegal. Says that instead of doing that, the judge suggested that they should, find a way to explore alternate political solution in resolving the issues of his extradition, detention, and trial. And we know that for the fact that the president also said at a point in time that he respects the judiciary and that political solution may be possible as well too. The lead counsel, the special counsel to NNAMDI KANU, which is Aloy Ejimako, actually said that yes, that he would advise President Muhammadu Buhari to also remember his promise to respect the judiciary and do as said.